So this week, Wonder Weavers, I completed the second challenge of the month of May Art Challenge. I had a lot of fun experimenting and playing with an idea that I've been sitting with for a while. When I finished, my feeling was that overall the artwork was missing something. It didn't quite work, but there are elements I really loved, and so I'm going to continue to develop those. I think this is one great advantage of joining an art challenge. It helps you to build your practice, to build consistency, and to be a bit courageous. So the prompt this week was bugs, blossom and bulbs, and yeah, I was quite inspired by the prompt, especially as even though we're coming into winter, my bulbs have germinated, and so I can't wait to see what flowers blossom this year. Meanwhile, I have also been finishing one of my miniatures. I've been working on this for a while. It's a bell tower. And I've also been putting some final touches to one of my little pianos. I love making miniature pianos. So this part of my art process has been a bit of a surprise. I never saw myself as a miniaturist, and I'm not sure that I still do. I'm not a huge fan of labels overall. When I first felt the need to make miniatures, I resisted it. And I resisted it mainly because I somewhere along the line picked up the belief that making things or building miniatures was a time waster. I don't know if you can relate to that feeling, or it was a waste of money or materials. These are just some ideas, and I'm not too sure where I picked them up, but they are ideas that I've picked up over time. So making miniatures has actually been a really healing process, because I have had to actually look at those beliefs and gently put them aside and follow my creativity. But this week I realized that there's something quite magical about the process. Through making miniatures, I cultivate curiosity, and I end up creating things that very often inspire story threads. And like I said, these were not the goals of the process of making the miniatures. I do it because it's very relaxing and it's a lot of fun, and I'm always surprised at what I can create with what I have. So thinking about my process, what I've realized is that when I invite curiosity to come in at the very beginning of the process, and it usually starts out, I have collected objects or materials. I often pick things up at thrift stores, deco foam, beads, you name it. It's a treasure trove. You can find all kinds of amazing materials to create with. when I collect these materials and I feel the urge to create, I will have a look and I will ask myself, what can I create with these materials? And very often an image or an idea flows into my mind, and then I start the process of creating. And obviously at the very beginning, after I have the idea, I need to work out what techniques I'm going to utilize in order to get there, to be able to bring the image into the 3D. Often while creating the miniature, a story thread might come into my mind. I always make sure I write them down, or if it's more like an image, so potentially an image that I can work into an artwork or an illustration, I'll make sure that I sketch roughly what's coming to me. And with some of my miniatures, I'll have a bit of a play, just like with my figurines, my little characters. I will photograph them in different settings, and yeah, play is just so important. Curiosity and play. Obviously, as a result of this being a much more intuitive process, my miniatures are often not to scale and they're quite quirky, I guess you would say. They have a lot of character, and that's okay. Like, I think that adds something unique. So making miniatures and playing with characters, they're quickly becoming vital to not only feeding my imagination, but helping me to bring the worlds of my imagination into being. So they're helping me create little worlds of wonder. So now, Wonder Weavers, I'm curious, how do you like to play? How do you feed your imagination? How do you bring worlds to life? I'd love you to share. So take care, stay well, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Ciao.